Hi everybody, I'm Christa with the Big Family Homestead, and today I'm gonna make some soap, and I wanted to share how I make soap with you today. I've made many videos, in the past, but honestly, I need some soap, and I thought I would just go ahead and share how I make it to folks who are new to our channel. So as you can see, my hair is blowing because I've got a fan right here for when we start to mix. We're gonna start with just a few ingredients, and here they are. Okay, for our ingredients, we need 3 cups of water. I'm using well water, but filtered water, distilled water, whatever kind of water you would want to use. I would stay away from chlorinated water if possible. But 3 cups of water, and then we have our food grade sodium hydroxide. This is from Essential Depot. I found that this is the best place to get it the least expensive in quantity. So we need 17 ounces of that. We've got our coconut oil here. We're going to use 2 pounds of coconut oil, 2 pounds of canola oil, and 2 pounds of vegetable oil. If you do not want to use these oils, that is completely up to you. Excuse me, you can go straight coconut oil, or if you have your own lard, use lard. You need 6 pounds of fat for this recipe. So whatever fat you want to use, beef tallow, lard, coconut oil, it's entirely up to you. You can use whatever fat you want, but you need 6 pounds of it. I've got our scale here and my measuring cup that it says lye only. I only use this for lye. Then we need 2 cups of lemon juice. Here's the recipe. The only thing I'm not going to be adding is the liquid vitamin E oil. I'm going to add extra sweet almond oil. Couldn't find any of the vitamin E oil at the store. So we need 1/3 cup of the dry goat's milk. Makes it super easy when making goat milk soap. We need some stearic acid. Here's our almond oil, and then a scent. We have lavender and we have tea tree. We will not be mixing those, but we need 2 ounces of essential oils. Okay, important tip on making soap. Please, please, please make sure that you don't have a ton of little children running around, because when we start to work with the lye, it is critical that they don't get hurt. I have done my due diligence to make sure that our children are not around when they were little, when I'm making the soap, because we are working with caustic chemicals. So they can burn your skin. Just make sure that you keep some white distilled vinegar. Sorry, I was drawing a blank. White distilled vinegar around, because that can neutralize the acid. But what we're going to do first is we're going to measure our lye before we do anything else. So we've got our lye here, and we need 17 ounces, and I have a scale right here. Let me turn on the other camera, and that way you can see too. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my gloves. These are just the inexpensive rubber gloves you get from the big box stores. Nothing fancy, but I also have some eye protection. They're just my reading glasses, but it's still some kind of protection over my eyes. I have zeroed out my scale here, and I'm going to be very cautious. I don't want this on my skin, but I'm going to just pour it very slowly. Actually, I'm going to turn this fan just a hair so that it doesn't blow the little lye beads out. So we need 17 ounces, so that's 1 pound and 1 ounce. I've got a big clump in here, so I'm going to shake this up really quick. There we go. I'm going to break up those chunks. As you can see here, I have a bag over the top of my scale because a Ziploc bag, because I use this scale for other things, and I don't want the lye being on there. All right, we're almost there. 1 pound, 5 ounces, or 0.5. Come on. There we go. All right, I'm gonna close this up, get this out of the way. And now, carefully set this off to the side. Now, we've got our pan here. Now, there's important note about the pan. This has to be stainless steel, and this is the only thing you're going to use this pan for. You're not going to use the one that you use on for cooking your food. You're going to only use this for soap making. So I went to Walmart and I bought a very cheap pan. I think this was maybe $10, $12. And this is the only thing I use it for is soap making. So I take this pan, and the first thing I'm going to do is you're going to pour the water in, in your pan. You don't want to put the lye in there first. You want to put the water in there first, because if you put your lye in and then add your water, it could splatter. So we're going to put our water in down first. And then I'm going to turn this fan back, because this fan is going to help blow the, this is going to create fumes. So we're going to keep this fan blowing towards the pot so that the fumes will blow away from your face. You don't want to breathe them in. It can cause you to cough. So I've got another tip. Excuse me, I haven't poured the lye in there yet. Another thing is your utensils. These need to stay with your soap making supplies. Go to the Dollar Tree, buy some cheap, inexpensive things, because it doesn't really matter. You don't need to use expensive tools. Just get cheap tools, because they may break and you can throw them away, because you can only use them for soap. So I've got my spoon. As you can see, it is been well used with soap making. So I'm going to carefully take our lye, and I'm going to take this down into the pot and just slowly pour this down in there. Okay. Oh, there's a little bit left in here. Go ahead and get that out. All right, this is all I use for that. It does not get put, no food gets put in there. Now I'm going to stand back. I got a long spoon for this specific reason, because it's a deep pot and I want to stand back as far as I can. So that way the fumes can blow away. This is going to create a lot of heat. So if you're using it on a tile counter or wooden counter, just be cautious. I have it on a stainless steel table, and I put a towel underneath it so you can see the steam, I suppose, coming off of here, and it's blowing away, not towards me, away from me. You just gotta make sure you break up all the pieces. Okay, just had to look to make sure there weren't any big chunks. Now, this is going to sit for several minutes, because it will get to be about 200 degrees. So we want to just kind of push this off to the side. Careful not to splash it. Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. It's not this. You want to let this come down to temperature to about 150 to 160 degrees. So then we're just going to shove this off to the side, and while this is cooling, we're going to measure our other ingredients. So it's kind of a, you know, there's no time wasted. So here we go. Okay, now I've got my scale here, and I'm going to go ahead and put the bowl on top of the scale and go ahead and turn it on so that way it zeroes out. And then we've got our spoon here. This is just an ordinary spoon. I don't use this for anything but scooping oil. But I've softened my coconut oil just a bit so that it's easier to get out of the container. We need 2 pounds of this. About halfway there. Almost. And like I said before, you can use whatever oils you want. This is entirely up to you. Oh, I've got a hair more than necessary. There we go. You can use whatever oils you want. You just need, for this recipe, you need 6 pounds of oil total. So I'm going to set this off to the side. I can't weigh the other oils because I don't have another bowl with me right now. So we'll go ahead and measure out. So our lemon juice is, we need 2 cups of lemon juice. Just set that there for convenience. And the lemon juice is basically to change the pH, makes it all softer, more gentler soap. So we actually use this, we have used this soap for, I've been making soap for about 12 years now, and so we have used it on all of our, well, Ruth is 13 today, so we've used this on all of our babies. We used to use it as shampoo for the little kids, and it was just super, super gentle. All right, so now we need 1/3 cup of dry goat's milk. Now this stuff here, it's just, this is an older container, but this stuff is amazing. It's dry goat milk. I love to use the dry goat milk because, well, for one, I don't have goats anymore, and two, I just never could get the hang of having fresh goat's milk and making soap with it. I always burned it. So this just worked really, really easily. So for those of you who don't have goats, you can still make goat milk soap. All right, so 1/3 cup of goat milk. And then we need some almond oil, and we need 2 ounces of the sweet almond oil. I've got a bowl here that I like to put on there just to weigh it out. Come on, there we go. 2 ounces. This part is usually pretty boring. There we go. So if you want to fast forward and not watch all of the boring measuring, by all means. All right, then we need 2 ounces of stearic acid. And this just honestly helps with sudsiness of the product and the stability of the soap. So okay, so when you get stearic acid, it's usually in big flakes. So what I did is I took an immersion blender and I ground it up and made it a little bit finer of a powder. So we need 2 ounces of this. There are many other simple recipes that you could make with to make soap, where it's just basically lye, water, and oil. I like to add these other things. It makes a nicer, softer, gentler product. So, all right, before we get to mixing our soap, I wanted to just talk to you about our containers. Now, the containers I pour the soap mixture into. Now, you can spend $40, $50, $60 on a single soap mold, but what I did is I went to the Dollar Tree, like I did for my tools, and I found these drawer, you can see, just the organizer basket. These are the ones that kind of lock together, right? These are perfect for soap molds. They don't melt. The temperature is not hot enough for these to melt. They make a super great size bar soap, and you get 3 for $1.25. So super cheap. Love these things. Just use what you have. Just use what you have. Don't go out and spend a ton of money on something you don't need to. So here we go. We're gonna set these off to the side because I need to put them on this counter here so that I can mix the soap and then pour it into the soap molds right away. You don't want to delay that too long. So our temperature of the lye water is about 150 to 153 degrees. It's perfect temperature. So our coconut oil is soft. It's a little bit soft. You can see in here. And we're going to go ahead and not drop it down. We're going to lower this down in here. The bowl is going to be just super close to that liquid. Again, wearing your glasses, gloves. I've got a fan going just because honestly it's warm down here. So not just because of the being warm, but because of the lye fumes, and the fumes are gone and now it's just warm down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this down, not set it down, lower this down in here so that it doesn't splatter. And then I'll take my spatula and get all of the coconut oil out of there. We're gonna mix the coconut oil in here first. because it is still kind of solid, and we want to make that into a liquid. So the heat from the lye water, the temperature of the lye water will make this melt really quickly. So we're just going to kind of smash the big chunks up, but just stirring slowly as to not splash. But I'm just kind of pressing the big clumps of coconut oil up against the sides here. And it doesn't take very long for this to start to melt. As you can see, it's getting there. It's getting there. And just, again, be cautious. I just actually splashed a little bit, but not up. It was just on the sides. Just stirring it around so that the coconut oil will melt. And this does bring the temperature down a bit, but not a ton. All right, so we've got just a few chunks left to go here, little clumps. And I did go upstairs and I grabbed another bowl so that I could weigh out the other oils so that you didn't have to wait for me to do that. All right, so this is a slightly larger bowl, so I can't lower it down in there. But I kind of take my spoon and just divert the oil a bit so it doesn't splash. Let's get the rest of that oil in there. And then we'll go ahead and start mixing this. All right, so we're just gonna stir this up just with the spoon for now. Now, the next thing that goes in here is our lemon juice, and again, that just makes a softer soap, more gentle. Like I said, it changes the pH, and so we're just gonna kind of just slowly pour this in there and mix it. We don't want to drop the whole amount in there. We just kind of want to add it slowly. Lemon juice settled a hair. Let's stir that up. Nope, I'm right-handed. I gotta stir with my right hand. All right. It will change the color a bit to where it's a little bit orange, maybe a little bit more yellow, but that's just because it's lemon juice. No big deal. Okay, so it kind of changed that color a little bit. That's all right. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this spoon out and set it there. Now I'm going to take the the goat milk soap, and just kind of sprinkle it around on the top, and then take the whisk and whisk that in there. That way there's no chunks. We want that all incorporated nicely. Once you get this, once the oils go in, the process does not take long at all. The longest part is actually getting the ingredients together and then cleaning up. All right, so now we're going to take our stearic acid and do the same thing. Just kind of sprinkle that around in there. And then we're going to take our immersion blender, and it's just a really old one that I have that works really well for this. All right, we're just going to blend this up, so it's going to be a tad loud. The use of the immersion blenders, actually, we want to saponify. It's a technical term. We want to saponify the batter, liquid, mixture. We could go with that. So that way it will create soap. So that saponification is what is helping to create soap. So we have to whisk, otherwise we would have to use the whisk and it would take a really long time. That's why I use an immersion blender. You can use a hand mixer, use whatever you need, whatever you have. I'm gonna go ahead and add this sweet almond oil in. That way I don't forget. And then we'll add the essential oil here in just a minute, just before it is done at the saponification stage. let's see. Now, what we're looking for is what's called trace. Now, if I'm going to take my immersion blender and I'm going to just kind of draw a line, if it leaves a line, then we're there. It's not quite ready yet. So actually what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and put the lavender essential oil in. I'm just going to pour 2 whole ounces in. This was a 4-ounce bottle, and so 2 ounces goes in. We're going to go ahead and mix. All right, I think we might be there. Oh, yep, definitely. Look at that. You guys, I hope you can see that. See how it draws a line and stays it. Looks like yellow pudding or vanilla pudding. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get most of the product off of here because I don't want it to go to waste. And then we're going to very carefully, let me go ahead and move some of this stuff here so that I can slide this over, and then you can see our containers here. Let me see, make sure. Okay, so now we're going to take our liquid soap mixture and very carefully, slowly pour this into the containers. If you go too quick, it splatters up the side and makes a humongous mess. So just kind of go back and forth, and then we'll kind of tap those down just a hair. But I want to make sure that we get it all in there. Nothing goes to waste. Our spatula. Oops. It gets thick pretty quickly, so you got to work quickly. All right, there's just a bit left in the pot here. You know, when soap costs so much money, you don't want it to go to waste. All right. I don't use any kind of dyes in our soap because I don't want that on our skin. So there's no artificial dyes whatsoever. So we're gonna go ahead and tap these down. Oh, they're connected. Just to make them even. And then I'll just kind of smooth this out just a tad. I know a lot of people like the frou-frou soap. I'm kind of partial to our soap here. I really like the way it is on my skin. Oof, I just got hair in my mouth. I like the way it is on my skin, and it's just super gentle. So I'm just gonna smooth this out before it gets too hard, and then we won't be able to. There we go. Give it a little texture on the top there. What do you think? There we go. People like their frou-frou soap. I just like plain soap. Sometimes I don't even like the scent. Just like the plain unscented soap. Oops, sorry. There we go. All right, there it is. There's our soap. I don't want to lean it too much. There's our soap. We have 3 of these, and this, once it hardens, actually this will sit for a couple of days, and then I'll pop these out of the tray, and then I will let it sit for another day or 2, and then I will cut it. So I won't cut it right away. And then it creates just this beautiful bar. I'll show you in another video how we cut those. But super easy, inexpensive tools. I think that's it. I hope that's it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put those in the description box, not the description box, in the comment section. Goodness gracious. If you have any questions, I will try to get to all of those questions as quickly as possible. So that's it, folks. I hope you, did I tell you how many bars this makes? This makes 30 bars. Yeah, so 30 bars plus a couple of the ends, and it's a great, it lasts a really long time. It's just a great way to make homemade soap for your family, or if you want to make soap for friends and family as gifts, or you want to sell it at the farmer's market. This is a great soap. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. It truly helps our family out. I'm Christa with the Big Family Homestead, and you have a blessed and amazing day.